I just had a dream. I was exiting a building, but I was sitting down for a moment. There were people in the lobby. My mother is next to me, my wife, my daughter, and I didn't see my son at the moment. And a tall, probably the owner of the building or something like a big boss, walked by and he said, "Ah, you're Daniel the drug dealer." And I said, "No, sir. I don't use drugs. I don't sell drugs. I don't like needles." Um, you could say Daniel the reader or Daniel the lazy, but not the drug dealer. And I get accused of being lazy because I get the whole family to help me cut the grass. I don't do it by myself. Then he said, "Oh." Then he was he was standing in front of me and sort of it was on my left. Then he was wearing shorts too, so nobody would know he's the owner of the building or I was working as a security guard. And what had just happened was when I left, my wife showed up and said, "When are we leaving?" This is upstairs on the floor where I was working as a security guard. And I told her that I had to write an incident report. And the incident had been that three girls had attempted to break into a place to get a camera. It was not a store, but they were I think getting cameras. And I had stopped them even though they had three sticks. And they were teenage girls. I stopped them by just carrying one of them. I put her on my back. I picked her up, carried her on my back. Not like the firearms carry, but fireman's carry, but the way you do when you just put her on your back and you grab onto her legs. When I put her down at the security office, I take away her knife, which was at her waist, so she could have easily sliced me as I was carrying her. Dreams are very unusual. I had her sit down. The two other girls ran away or something. And then something like the doctor, psychologist lady came by and took the girl away. But I had told the girl that all she was missing was love. Nobody had given her love, and that's why she was there. Then I began thinking, well, the doctor is not really going to help this girl. And I was thinking, whoa, I can't really just release her. She'll get in trouble again, and so I didn't know what to do. But so the girl was there. Then I was looking to write the incident report, but of course the first page didn't have enough space, so I wanted to write the second page, but I couldn't find a piece of paper. I couldn't even find a blank piece of paper. And the two dressed guards that worked with me, the ones that were my relievers, they were just talking away and not really being helpful. And this time my daughter came up and said, "When are we leaving?" It was midnight. Before that, my wife had asked me, "When are we leaving?" She was tired as usual. So apparently I didn't drive. So that's why they were there. Then we took the elevator down to the lobby, but on the way there was a group of three women in the elevator, but it was an unusually big elevator, something like a Disney ride. And the older woman was telling the younger woman, right now your body will be getting ready for intimacy. The younger one had just had a baby, and the elevator filled up to half to our stomachs with water. Then the water disappeared, and the older one kept on talking without regard to my being there, the only male. And she said, right now we have just experienced a soothing healing, just in the air and the sun and everything. It was a simulation, but it's the same as being in Mauritania, which I think is an island off of Africa. And the older woman's voice was almost like a man's voice. It was not soft like a woman's. It was like an old woman's. So when we get down to the lobby, it seems to be there that we sit down, and the older man says, "You're Daniel the drug dealer," and I say, "No, sir." And he said, "Well, what would you do to prove that you don't smoke?" And I say, "Oh, that you don't do drugs." And I said, "Well, I don't even smoke, sir, and I don't like needles. My grandmother used to." And then he says, "You don't smoke," and he's got a cigar in his mouth. And I told him, "Yes, sir, I don't like it." And then he's trying to walk away, but he's trying to believe me or listen to me at least. And then he says, "Why don't you smoke?" And I said, "Because my grandmother used to smoke. She had Alzheimer's, so she used to cook, and I used to eat the ashes." Then he said, "You're from Peru?" And I said, "No, sir, I'm from Honduras." And then he says, "You have freedom over there?" And I said, "It's strange, sir. You can drive when you're 14 years old if you have a car. One girl when I was 16, she used to drive her pickup. Well, she didn't have a driver's license. It's basically you have a car and you reach the pedals, you can drive." Then there was the other girl, Freedom. We all went dancing, and there was what appeared to be younger boys than I was drinking beer. They would just walk up to the bar and say one beer, or they would be served. They appeared to be younger because they were smaller, skinnier, and they just looked younger. Then the next thing that happened was the next thing that happened was okay, the beer. I said, but there is a strange thing. If you go dancing, the soldiers show up and they grab everyone and the males, and they grab the young males, and they just, if they're as tall as you are, they just throw you in the truck. And so it's important to walk around with your passport so that they don't recruit you for the army. What the blacks did is they ran into the ocean and they started swimming. The French young man, what he did was he spoke to them in French, and he said, "After that incident, Daniel, I always carry my passport." He's half Honduran, half French. And I wasn't there. That one day I was in the capital or somewhere else. Yeah, the capital. The 50th anniversary of one nun that was a relative. Bodas de Oro. So I sort of stood there. Then I woke up. What do dreams mean? And well, my daughter's been asking about when she can start driving. And I told her that in Honduras she could start when she's 14 and probably even now that she's 13. Because she's tall enough to reach the pedals. And over there it would have been a stick shift car. In the smaller towns, she would be able to drive. Also, my wife asked me today if I could become a security guard. Someone else asked. Oh yeah, it was my wife. And I told her that no, because I was Baker Acted, so I'm not able to work as a security guard. So that's where we're at. Dreams are strange. Well, it's time to get up and have a beautiful day. The first hour of the day is here. Today is Friday, it's Shabbat. My wife has been staring at me. This is unusual. Normally she looks at me and says something, even if she just mumbles it. But for the last couple of times on Thursday, she looked, stared at me, and didn't say anything, so I stared back. I stared not in a confrontational way, but just in a, yes, I'm listening. I am hypervigilant, which means that as soon as you look at me, I tend to notice. That's because I was ignored as a child. Completely ignored. I mean, nobody would talk to me. Many people now say, you could get a job. But I say no, because I don't want my children to be home alone and grow up in solitary confinement like I did. I mean, my son or daughter, they talk, boom, I'm right there. I listen and respond. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. If you need help, I'll help you. Put this in your mind. You can, you will, you must. Contact me if you need me. I'll help you memorize Bible verses. Daniel Carone, 1972, at facebook.com. Daniel Carone, 1972, at gmail.com. God bless you, and all those that surround you. God bless them also. Bye-bye.